What's up, Rams? Are you ready to turn up the heat? I'm Julie Baltazar.
And I'm Gideon Aigner, Julie's culinary partner in crime. And boy, do we have a lot of fun in store for you tonight.
We begin tonight's sizzle with an overview of the latest TikTok food trends and happenings within the Fort Collins food scene. After that, I'll show you 3 convenient ways you can make wraps for the days you are in a rush in my segment, Cost Cookers.
Then I invite a special guest from CTV Local Beats to bake a dessert that will only leave you craving more. And Julie will take us over to a hidden gem that serves Indian food close by campus.
And Gideon will show us another recipe that's been in his family for a long time. And then we end tonight's show with a game to see if we can tell the difference between similar snacks from Asian countries and the U.S.
All this and more tonight on CTV Cooks, starting now.
Global conflict between Russia and Ukraine has affected people all over the world, even in small places like Fort Collins. Tatiana Stratlia is a Ukrainian refugee and chef who puts her heart into teaching people how to make all sorts of dishes from her home. Chicken Kiev, pierogi, and kuchia are some of the few foods she is taught to make at Cooking Studio Fort Collins in Old Town. Stratlia arrived to Colorado a few months after the Russian invasion. Her cooking classes have been contributing to donations for Ukraine. Stratliat's ability to create a sense of home away from home is inspiring, and her culinary teachings remind us that positivity can just be spread about anywhere in the world.
Classic American diners exist everywhere in Colorado, but a special burger joint is on its way to town. The In-N-Out burger chain has slowly been making its rounds in Colorado. With only 7 in the state right now, though, the 8th is set to be built in Loveland, replacing Mimi's Cafe. Given its reputation for high-quality burgers and late-night hours, this restaurant is sure to be a hit amongst college students when it opens.
And speaking of popular food chains, Krispy Kreme is coming to Fort Collins with their signature glazed donuts that is sure to satisfy any sweet tooth. This 85-year-old donut chain is iconic because of its simple, classic menu. The new location is set to be further down College Avenue and will be open for business sometime before 2024. It will offer both a dine-in and drive-thru option for convenience. I'm sure there will be a line of people excited to pick up their coffee and donuts in the morning.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's cloud bread? TikTok, or food talk as foodies call it, has been shaping the way Gen Z cooks, with countless popular recipes being made on the app every day. Here are the 2 top recipes that we recommend trying at home. At the top of our list, we have cloud bread, which is a simple, fluffy bread that is similar to angel cake. It only takes 4 ingredients to make: egg whites, sugar, cornstarch, and food coloring. The bread can be any color you like, and it makes for a perfect little treat. The next recipe is cheesy scalloped potatoes. All you do is saute onions and layer sliced potatoes on a baking dish with Parmesan, mozzarella, and chopped chives. And if you're vegan, non-dairy cheese works too. Pour a little bit of veggie broth over it and you get an appetizer that is easy to share with your friends.
And that's all we have in the Fort Collins food scene this month. But keep relaxing, Rams, because after the break, I will be serving up some different ways you can make wraps when in a rush on my segment, Cost Cookers.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You can say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You can chat with them in VR. It's all good if you think you should check in. Yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. Getting ready in the morning can be time-consuming, and with classes and work to get to, we may not have time to cook meals throughout the day. Lucky for you, I have the solution. What's up, Rams? Welcome back to Cost Cookers, my segment where I show you guys how to make delicious meals without breaking the bank. For today's episode, we'll be working with an underrated ingredient, tortillas. Now, before we start any of our recipes, make sure that you start by warming up your tortillas for about 15 seconds in the microwave. It doesn't have to be very long. We just want them to be warm enough so that you can fold them without having them break while you make your recipes. And now with that out of the way, let's get started. For this recipe, you'll need 1 flour tortilla, 2 eggs, a splash of milk, 2 to 3 pieces of bacon, 1 hash brown, and cheese of your choice. So this is the first recipe done. It's just a quick breakfast burrito that's really easy to make, especially in the morning. You can honestly pop the hash brown, bacon, I wouldn't say the eggs, but you can put the hash brown and the bacon in the air fryer, and it should be more than fully cooked. If you put it on at about 400 degrees for several minutes, just cook it to your liking and cook it to whatever the instructions on the bag says. But the eggs probably have to be on the pan. I've never tried cooking eggs in an air fryer, but I'm assuming it wouldn't turn out well. But yeah, other than that, this is a pretty good recipe for when you're on the go because you can whip it up really quickly and then you can run out the door with it because it's handheld. For our second recipe, you'll need 1 flour tortilla, mayo, lettuce, cherry tomatoes, 1 to 2 slices of cheese of your choice, 2 to 3 pieces of ham, and toothpicks. This recipe was probably one of the messiest of all the ones that I've had on Cost Cookers. They kind of broke apart while I was rolling them, but they're still decent enough. If you're just feeding yourself, it should be fine. I did forget to put the tomato, so don't forget to put all of your ingredients in. Make sure that you have everything in there. But with how it fell apart, maybe it wouldn't have fit the tomato anyway, but that's okay. I can just give the tomatoes to my producer, Abby. For our final recipe, you'll need 1 flour tortilla, 4 to 5 chicken nuggets, lettuce, 1 tomato, 1 red onion, fresh cilantro, shredded cheese of choice, and sauce of choice. So this recipe was pretty easy to make. The hardest part about it was honestly folding the tortilla. Make sure that you don't overstuff with your filling because it might be harder to wrap up, but in that case you can always just use a toothpick or several toothpicks to keep everything in place. And honestly, if it comes to it, you can also just eat it kind of like a burrito bowl wrap. Rip up the tortilla, eat it with all your fillings, and it should be more than good to go. And there you go, tortillas in 3 different ways. I think these recipes are an awesome Kickstarter for showing you just how versatile they can be. Now that we're all wrapped up here, let's get back to the studio. Tortillas are a versatile ingredient. You can stuff them with just about anything and meal prep if you need to. With that, go ahead and grab a quick snack. After the break, Gideon has a nostalgic dessert that will make you want to sing happy birthday to just about anyone.
Yo, welcome back. It's time to talk about a sweet treat that can't be beat. Chocolate cake. The only way to end a date and take a break. See what I did there? Truly though, we should indulge in something sweet every once in a while. And what better way to do it than to bake something from the comfort of your own home? I recently got a copy of Snoop Dogg's cookbook, From Crook to Cook. And let me tell you, it's full of stylized recipes. With Snoop Dogg being a well-known musician, I decided to call up Kyra McKinley from Local Beats to help me bake a cake suited for the lyrical genius himself. Hey Rams, and welcome to the first ever collaboration between CTV Cooks and Local Beats. I'm Gideon Aigner.
And I'm Kyra McKinley.
And today we're going to be doing the first of a 2-part series where we make some of the favorite recipes of some of the world's preeminent musicians.
Yes, and today we have Snoop Dogg, one of my personal favorite artists, and he actually is not new to the cooking game. He had a cooking show in 2016 with Martha Stewart, and today we're going to be making his Go Shoddy It's Your Birthday chocolate cake.
I'm going to be making the batter for the cake.
And I'm going to be making the frosting.
There are a lot of ingredients for this one. So here are the dry ingredients that you're going to need for the cake, and here are the wet ingredients for the cake. Here are the ingredients you'll need for the frosting, and let's begin. So what we're going to want to do before we do anything else is preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So once we have that preheating, what we're going to want to do is butter our pans along with flouring them until they look like this. In terms of measurements, we're going to be starting with 2 cups of flour, followed by 2 cups of sugar. Next, you'll need 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. Next up, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, followed by 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. And finally, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to whisk all this together. Create a divot in the middle of your dries to pour your liquids into. Now we're going to boil a cup of water. When it comes to the liquids, first you're going to want to add your buttermilk, then 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Now we're going to be cracking 3 eggs. And then we're going to put our eggs in with the rest of our mixture. Now we're going to be doing 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now that we have all of our ingredients in the bowl, we're going to mix them. We didn't have an electronic mixer ready, so we had to use our hands. However, I do not recommend this method. Once it starts getting tough to mix, add about half of your boiling water. Then you're going to add the other half once it starts to get tough again. Keep mixing until your batter looks like this. Now we're going to divide our batter evenly between these 2 pans. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be close enough. Now that we have both of our cakes in the pans, we're going to pop them right in the oven. After half an hour, pull them out and test them with a toothpick. If the toothpick is dry, they're ready to come out of the oven. And we let them cool for half an hour.
Okay guys, so I'm back now for the best part of this segment, the frosting. And we're going to start off by putting 3 cups of butter into our bowl. But, you know, you're supposed to do room temperature, but I'm kind of a cheater and I melted it. And I think you can do that. Okay, so our next step is 1 cup of cocoa powder. It's giving like Little House on the Prairie. I then added 5 cups of confession sugar. This is just really messy. Like the OCD in me does not like that. Where's the confession sugar? And then half a cup of whole milk and a teaspoon of vanilla. To all the haters out there, what does this look like to you? Looks like frosting to me. It tastes like frosting, and it's going well. Okay guys, so look at that. Frosting's ready. Frosting's ready. And put a little down here, and now Gideon's gonna flip that on over. Look at those master skills. Very aesthetic. And we're gonna put the rest of our, we got a lot of frosting left, guys, so we're really gonna
butter this up.
We can be generous. We can be very generous.
Yeah.
Oh, it's slipping,
Oh,
sliding.
it's slip sliding, but it's okay. It's okay.
We roll with it, guys. Baking isn't perfect, and nor are we.
Even though we are doing this for TV, we're not doing this for TV or to impress anybody. We're just teaching you how to make a good recipe.
I'm doing it to impress everyone. With that, guys, I think it's ready for us to try this cake. Once the cake is cooled for a little while, feel free to serve it on up. Oh my gosh. No! No, Gideon's trying it out! Snoop Dogg's cake is probably as good as his music. I definitely suggest you guys make this at home. I personally loved it.
This was an absolute bop.
It's your birthday. You're gonna party like it's your birthday. Yay! Yay! Happy birthday, Happy!
This cake was borderline addictive and really fun to make. Everyone wanted a slice when we took it to work to share with our coworkers. And ultimately, it was so good and a lot of fun to make. And I really can't wait for the crossover that you guys are going to have next week with Local Beats.
Oh yeah, we make Elvis's peanut butter sandwich and Dolly Parton's butterscotch pie, but your cake was pretty good. I usually don't really go for sweets very often, but that cake, like, I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, I was really happy with how the frosting turned out. Kyra, shout out, you did a really good job with that.
Well, with something sweet, we need something savory to balance it out. Maybe even something spicy. Thankfully, the Fort Collins food scene has plenty of diverse spots that are rich in culture. So we are switching it up tonight, and I'm going to introduce you to an amazing find right here on Global Eats. Tonight's restaurant of choice is Bawarchi Biryani, a hidden gem on College Avenue that serves mouth-watering Indian food.
Bawarchi means a chef, cooking chef, Bawarchi. In South India, many people will eat biryani. So that's called as Bawarchi Biryani. Point means this location, like Bawarchi Biryani Point.
Bawarchi Biryani Point opened its doors 7 years ago in 2016. And while they are not the first Indian restaurant to open in Fort Collins, they are the first to have their own specialty, South Indian food. Before Bawarchi, those who hailed from South India or were simply craving South Indian dishes had to travel just to get their fix. Thankfully, owner Sai Prasad Palusa stepped up to the plate and opened his own restaurant to satisfy his and other community members' cravings.
I'm from South India. We have separate kind of cuisine. Start the restaurant is very difficult. So I went all different kind of franchise, different places, and I found this Bawarchi franchise is very, very unique. Different places I eaten their food. Everything is consistent.
Bawarchi Biryani Point's menu has more than enough to satisfy their stomachs, featuring a wide variety of dishes on the menu.
Like South Indian dishes, idli, vada, dosa, different type kind of dosas, and biryani. Biryani is our main dish. Looks like fried rice type, but it's entirely different. For example, if you are taking chicken biryani, so we will marinate chicken with yogurt and different kind of spices. Marinated chicken, uncooked basmati rice, a layer of spices, like different layers we'll put. And we'll cook for 2 hours with low flame. We have different kind of biryani, like chicken biryani and lamb biryani, goat biryani, and vegetable biryani, and paneer biryani.
And if you can't get enough of what Bawarchi Biryani Point has to offer, you're in luck. All thanks to their grocery store right next door, which gives people the opportunity to try and make their favorite dishes at home.
Many people are coming here, particularly most of them American people, and they are asking me so many questions, how we can prepare, where we will get these spices. Then I decided, why can't I open a grocery store? And then I can tell them like, okay, it is available next door.
Bawarchi Biryani's specialty may be South Indian food, but they have other types of food on the menu for you to try as well.
You know, we have Indo-Chinese also, like South Indian food, and North Indian food also, like chicken tikka masala, butter chicken, and chole bhatura, samosa chaat. It's a different kind of Indian food available here.
Next time you're craving Indian food, just be grateful you don't have to make a long trip. With the selection of food on the menu, Bawarchi Biryani has no problem giving community members a little taste of home. The food here was full of flavor, and getting to sit and enjoy the ambiance was a treat. And if you weren't already getting hungry, I will now pass the pan over to Gideon, who will teach us how to make a recipe that's been a family favorite for years.
Jason, let's go see your room.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to yet another edition of Gid's Grandparents Gourmet, where I, Gideon Aigner, show you how to make different recipes that come from my own family cookbooks. Today's recipe is a unique, sweet side dish that is never left behind at our family gatherings. Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Gid's Grandparents Gourmet, where we tackle dishes that my grandparents love to make. Now, today what we're going to be doing is something that my grandma really likes for parties. It's a little bit on the unorthodox side, but this one is delectable. It's called baked pineapple. You're going to need 4 20-ounce cans of chunk pineapple, 2 cups of shredded mild cheddar cheese, 6 tablespoons of flour, 1 cup of brown or white sugar, 2 stacks of Ritz crackers, and 2 sticks worth of butter. Preheat your oven at 350 degrees. Then you're going to want to melt 2 sticks worth of butter. So you're going to take it, put it in a measuring cup. You're going to pop it into the microwave. And once it's done, you're going to set your butter off to the side. Next, what we're going to want to do is get all of our dry ingredients, so our cheese, our flour, and our sugar, into a big bowl. Starting off, we are going to add both of our cups of cheese. Then we will add our flour, and finally we will end with our cup of sugar. Then you'll mix all of it together in the bowl. Next, what you're going to want to do with your pineapple is you're going to want to open up your cans and drain them. What I did is I put a separate bowl under the colander that I was using. This way we were able to save the pineapple juice for later use. Next, you'll pour your pineapple into the bowl with the dry ingredients and stir them until they're thoroughly mixed. Next, you're going to want to crush your Ritz crackers. Okay. Now that we have that done, what we can do is put our mixture into our baking dish. You can find one of those at the store, about 9 by 11 inches. Then you're going to want to smooth it out so that it is evenly spread. And then we sprinkle our crackers on top. Make sure that the crackers are even as well. Then you'll take your melted butter and pour it evenly on top of the crackers. And once you have all of that together, what you're going to want to do is grab this, and then we're going to put it in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes, or until it is, quote, bubbly. Now we've checked it a couple of times, and we're going to give it one last look. Take this bad boy out of the oven. This smells great. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. That's just lovely. You can smell the cheese mixing with the pineapple. You get the butter. It's real rich. Now that brings me back to parties and Thanksgivings at Grandma and Grandpa's house. It's a classic in my family, and I'm sure it's going to be a classic in yours. Bon appetit! Now, this may not be as complex as pineapple pizza, but honestly, it's quite a bit healthier. This dish has a very sweet bite to it, and it goes with almost any meal. Now, before we end the show, we have one more fun competition on Café du Monde to see if we can taste the difference between Asian and American snacks. All this coming after the break. Excuse us for the technical difficulties that we've been having, and thank you for tuning in, folks.
Here on Cooks, we love celebrating snacks from all over the world. Tonight we are visiting Korea and the Philippines to see if we can tell the difference between their snacks and the U.S.'s snacks.
Both of us will have a flag from each country for each round, and we will give the snacks our best guess as to where they are from. And just so the game is fair, we will have a special guest join us. Everyone, welcome to the show, the one and only weather himself, Adam Carlson.
Thanks, Gideon. Hey guys, you ready for this fun challenge? As you can see, we have the plates laid out on the desk of each Asian and American snack. You will have to guess where these snacks came from. The first snack we have are these crackers. One is Korean and the other is American. Let's see if you can taste the difference.
Okay.
All right, so let's try these. These kind of look like saltines. So that's a saltine.
Yeah, that's a saltine.
Very crumbly and dry. Let's get this bag. Yeah, we'll see how this is. This is pretty interesting. Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
This is the American snack, and this is the Korean snack.
Oh yeah, 150%. So Yeah. Here's how high I have them.
All right. Well, you both got that one right.
Oh.
So we'll move on to our next round. This is another type of cracker, but they are rice crackers. Again, one is Korean and the other is American.
All right. So we've got one of these.
This is good.
Mmm.
Tastes like smoky. I like it.
Yeah, it tastes like somebody smoked a rice cake.
This looks like a pita chip.
Yeah, you're
That's
right there.
a pita chip. I'm
Yeah, you're
going American snack here, Korean snack here.
Same here.
Well, once again, you both get the points on that one.
Ba-boom.
And finally, we have one more. 2 cheesy corn snacks. Which do you think is from the Philippines and which one is from America?
This isn't fair because I'm from the Philippines.
Oh. well, I'm at a disadvantage
I'm
here.
sorry.
So here, let's show this to everybody. So
This is a bugle.
okay. I've never had a bugle before, so this
You
will
haven't.
actually be pretty cool. Got a bit of a kick
That's a
to it.
good. That's a good bugle. I like that.
And we got these things. Never seen them. Kind of reminds me of one of those dips chips, you know?
They're called clover chips.
That tastes like seafood.
Here's my answer.
Well, given that I've never had an American chip that tastes like seafood.
All right. And well, I guess this maybe wasn't as much of the challenge as we expected. We got the points there, but maybe the real winner was the friends we made along the way.
And well, that's all we have for you tonight, Rams.
Tune in to Local Beats next Wednesday to see Julie and Abby McPhail from Local Beats bake more celebrity desserts.
Stay fresh for